In today's MLB recap, we're going to break down the fact that MLB might be introducing a brand new rule that may or may not increase viewership or turn elbows into a bowl of jello. We saw another cycle. The Phillies, their bats are finally waking up, and the rest of the league should be very afraid. The New York Mets brought out who to throw the first pitch? Hawk to a girl? I know Mets fans were punching air because I think that cost them the game. And the Dodgers, they're in serious danger of losing their crown as the best team in the NL West. So we'll talk about all of that and more in today's MLB Recap. And don't forget, Recap is brought to you by SeatGeek. If you're going to any baseball games, concerts, anything like that, save yourself 20 bucks off using code Fuzzy. And if you like daily fantasy sports, a lot of you guys have been telling me that you've been doing pretty well on Underdog Fantasy. New users who use my code Fuzzy get a $250 bonus cash credit and a free pick'em if you use code Fuzzy. So what is this brand new rule change that could be coming to MLB in the next few seasons? Well, they are considering a 6-inning minimum for starting pitchers. Now, there are some caveats. As you can see, MLB is not going to force guys to throw 175 pitches just to get to 6 innings. So there's a couple different exceptions. One, if a pitcher is suffering an injury, that one's obvious. If they're exceeding 100 pitches or they've allowed 4 earned runs. Now, the one thing you have to remember as well is that if you do suffer an injury, if they're taken out in the 2nd or 3rd inning, they're basically also saying that you have to be immediately put on the IL. You can't just be taken out as a sneak around and a loophole to the rule. If you're taken out with an injury, you're going on the IL. So do you guys like this potential rule change? Do you think that you want to see starting pitchers going 6, 7, 8 innings more often? Blake Snell, he's doing it almost every start after people wrote him off as someone who can't go deep into ball games. So do you think that it's possible? Do you think that the recent surge of injuries makes this a dumb idea? What do you make of this change that could be coming as soon as 2027, maybe 2028? This is a perfect segue because I'm wondering how it's going to work for pitchers who are coming back from injury, aka Jacob deGrom. Now, the last time that we saw him was a few days ago. He had a BP session. He was throwing 99 to 100 miles an hour, so he's aiming to return at the beginning of September. It looks like he's about to have some AA rehab starts next week. So if Jacob deGrom comes off the IL, obviously teams usually are cautious with their pitchers coming off an IL, so they usually go 70 pitches, then 85 pitches, then they work back up to 100 in triple digits. So if Jacob deGrom and other pitchers come back from the IL, are they going to have a pitch count restriction? I'm curious to see how that works. So because we just talked about Jacob deGrom, let's talk about his team, the Texas Rangers. Cody Bradford has done a fantastic job at filling in for Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, John Gray, Nathan Eovaldi, basically the entire Rangers pitching staff. Adolis Garcia stayed red hot with an RBI up the middle. He's batting 500 over the last week and a half. He's trying to keep Texas in a playoff race. Bailey Ober, he loaded them up for Josh Young, and Young sac fly made it 2-0 Rangers. And their lead just got cut in half. Willie Castro, he now has a career-high 10 home runs. He has an almost 340 on-base percentage, and in the absence of Carlos Correa, he's been sick defensively at shortstop, and he can play 5 or 6 different positions. There's no way this is how Texas lost their lead. The Twins went back-to-back, like not on paper, but it's technically 2 swings. On the score chart, they labeled it as a triple and an error. You can see that Kyle Farmer, he's on E after that. He is huffing and puffing in the dugout. We're in the 4th now. Minnesota, they tried to hit and run, but Adolis, he caught it and he tossed a seed to backpick Christian Vasquez for the double play at first base. Who's going to win this game? Bailey Ober and Cody Bradford both went 6 innings with 2 earned runs. I feel like that one inside the park home run, that wasn't an inside the park home run, should have been an unearned run, but I don't know. I'm not a scorekeeper. The Twins are going to take the lead as Carlos Santana's sac fly in the 9th. It took until the 9th for anyone to score again. That pretty much sums up this game because Johan Duran, he was on top of his game. He had 2 strikeouts and his 17th save. The Twins are 15 games over 500. The Rangers, they fall to 10 games under 500. Oof. So before we talk about who hit the cycle, I cannot believe that this is a real sentence. The Mets had Hawk to a girl throughout the first pitch. I guess the Grimace magic is gone now by default because you just can't do that. Even Lindor's 9-game hit streak and Mark Viento's 18th home run of the year could not stop the curse of Hawk Tuah. Luis Torrens then stung a 2-run single to make it 5-0. But like I said, the curse of Hawk Tuah came back to bite them. JJ Bleday, he flat out rakes another home run versus a lefty. He actually hits better versus lefties. This time it's a grand slam. He was a phenom at Vanderbilt, and I'm so happy that he's finally breaking out. Mark Vientos, he's breaking out big time time as well. He's up to 19 home runs after his second oppo taco of the game. Skipping to the fifth, Geloff, he got to third on this Seth Brown single. Then he scored on a ball that almost hit my boy Darrell Hernandez. So it's now a one-run game. Shea Langoliers doubled to left field. Blade, he was held up at third base. Shea, by the way, had 3 base hits. Tyler Nevin, he did his job. He put the ball in play. He shoots it the other way, so it's 6-6. And I miss first half Reed Garrett. He was one of the nastiest relief pitchers in the game. He's been bad since the first half. Boo Birds were raining on the Mets. They had to watch their team blow a 5-0 lead. Mason Miller got all 6 of the final outs. He has 18 saves, and his ERA is officially back under 2. The Mets are very lucky that the Giants offense finally decided to show up because the Braves, they couldn't put extra distance between them and the Mets in the wild card race. Rookie Grant McCray. Every time I see his name on paper, I want to say Grant McGravy. It's not that. It's McCray. He's playing in his second big league game, and that's his first base hit right there, an RBI bunt. Fellow rookie Tyler Fitzgerald then made it 2-0 on a sac fly, and Max Fried, he was taken out with 1 out in the 6th inning, and Casey Schmidt of the Giants, he said, you probably should have left in Max. He pulls a 2-run laser beam off the top of the fence. That thing was absolutely rocked. Grant McCray, this ball was rocked as well. It's out of here. Grant, he's on the board with his first big league home run. His family was going absolutely bonkers. Matt Chapman, he stayed hot as well. He doubled to deep right to score Elliot Ramos, all while Logan Webb, he was lights out, I think for the 4th or 5th consecutive start in a row. He almost went 8 scoreless. He racked up a ton of strikeouts as well. He missed his 8th strikeout in 8 innings by a centimeter. That call could have gone either way. He leaves with a standing ovation. The bullpen got the final 4 outs as the Giants, they avoid the sweep. All right, cycle time. The Phillies offense is so back. Alec Boehm, he jumped on a pitch that is a 3-run jack. He's got 58 extra base hits already and 84 RBIs. Castellanos, he goes back-to-back. Weston Wilson, that is a real name. A lot of people are saying, who? That's Weston Wilson. Remember the name. He tripled in the 4th inning so he can jog home on this Johan Rojas single. TT, Trey Turner, that is a line drive 2-run double. And check out this next play. Bryce, he ripped a single, but he hustled all the way to second, and they did not call it a second, but it's still an RBI because Trey came home to score on the throw to second base. Baseball. Castellanos, he ripped his second RBI of the game. He knocks in Harper. And Kyber Ruiz, he had a big day for the Nationals. He homered not just in the 5th, but the 7th as well. But before we show his second home run, look at Jacob Young in center field. He might win a platinum glove. He's got 17 outs above average already and 27 stolen bases. Kind of reminds me of Kevin Kiermaier, but he doesn't have the pop of Kevin Kiermaier. I mean, Kevin didn't hit 50 home runs ever, but he had some pop back in the day. I told you guys that Kyber had 2 home runs on the day, but where's the cycle? So we already saw Weston leg out a triple. He had a single as well. He also now has a home run. He gets one more at bat, one more chance. He lined one to right field, and it popped out the glove of right fielder Alex Call. That is a double. Some casual fans were saying that should have been an error. Respectfully, you do not know ball if you think that's an error. Just because it hit the glove doesn't mean that it's an automatic error. You just witnessed the 10th cycle in Phillies history, but that's the first time ever a Phillies rookie has hit for a cycle. So again, you just saw history. If you're a Mariners fan, you got to be about ready to rip out every single strand of hair on the top of your head. Bryce Miller, he got the early lead, and he maybe turned in the best start of his entire career so far. The full pitch mix was working. He had 6 strikeouts through 4 scoreless, just 1 base runner over those 4. Kenta Maeda, he was fantastic. The Tigers have done a really smart thing. They don't bring in Kenta Maeda until the 2nd or the 3rd inning. They have an opener first. He struck out 5 over 5 2/3 scoreless innings, just 1 base hit and 1 walk. Bryce, he kept on doing his thing for the Mariners. The fastball and splitter combination was lethal. His day ends after 7 scoreless on just 2 base hits, no walks. Back-to-back games where Brian Wu and Bryce Miller, they were dominant, and they had it absolutely ruined by the bullpen. Parker Meadows, he got on, he used his wheels to get to 2nd, and then got to 3rd moments later. But there's no need to rush now. El Mago off of Andres Munoz, who has been unhittable lately. That's the first base hit that Andres has allowed since the 4th of July, over a month ago. Jason Foley, he then converted his 16th save as the Tigers sweep the Mariners. By the way, Javier Baez, get this, he's got 5 home runs and a near 940 OPS over his last 14 games. So we have some more flip-flopping in the AL East and the AL wildcard. The Yankees didn't play yesterday, so it's not like they lost the lead themselves, and it's just Baltimore, they were a half game back, so with this W, they're a half game up on the Yankees. Jarren Duran, he's down swinging. Rob Refsnyder, he's gone as well. Zach Eflin, he was cooking early. Pivetta, he had his last start skip. They wanted to give him a breather because he's been bad lately. He was really good over the first 3 frames, same with Zach Eflin, but they both ran into some long ball trouble in the 4th inning. Wilyer Abreu now has 14 home runs. Abreu is trying to pull a Gunnar Henderson and win Rookie of the Year. Gunnar, there he is, pulling baseballs again. Back-to-back games with a home run. So just like the Phillies offense is waking up, Gunnar's power is waking up as well. He's got 31 home runs. Cedric Mullins, he just yanked one as well. He sees Nick Pivetta very, very well. Every home run hit in this game was on a breaking ball. Zach Eflin, he's been a dang rock for the Orioles. 8 strikeouts, just 1 run over 6 innings. He's got a 2.1 ERA over his first 4 starts as an Oriole. Mountcastle and Cowser, they added to it as this game was kind of out of reach after these 2 base hits. Mountcastle had a pinch hit RBI, and by the way, the Orioles are the best pinch hitting team in all of baseball. Colton Cowser, he's trying to make sure that no one votes for Willie Abreu. Cowser now has 56 RBIs, a 125 OPS plus, and he's first in the American League with a 3.1 F4. That's best of any rookie. By the way, Austin Wells is gaining some ground, but the Red Sox, they do fall 5-1. They're 2.5 games back of the Royals for that final wild card spot. Guys, listen to this. If the Dodgers drop this game, they will only be 2 games up in the NL West. Jackson Chourio, this kid, legitimately, I'm going to knock on wood before I say this. He looks like a future Hall of Famer. He's 20 years old, so he's got age on his side. He's batting .330 with 23 extra base hits, 37 RBIs, and 9 stolen bases his last 54 starts. William Contreras, he's an absolute monster, but we all know that. He has 3 home runs in this series and 16 on the year. Milwaukee only put up 3, which ended up being a big problem because Andy Pages, he belted an RBI double just outside the reach of Chourio, and this came after a Hayward groundout, so it's 3-2 Milwaukee. Just kidding. Gavin Lux, he's a 5-hitter now. He's been that good. He clutched up after back-to-back base hits from Freddie Freeman and Will Smith. It makes me so happy to see him just continue to rake and rake and rake. The Dodgers, they were threatening again, this time in the 6th inning, and Andy Pages, he was trying to do more damage, but Joey Ortiz, he snagged it. So Tobias Myers, he's pulled after 93 pitches. They deploy Elvis Peguero to try and get Enrique Hernandez, and they push the wrong button. That's the wrong button right there. LA goes up 4-3 when the Brewers answered right back. Willy Adames, he scores Jackson Chourio, and then the Brewers took the lead despite the fact that there was a great effort from Hernandez at third base. Hoskins then had an RBI deflection. That was the 2nd deflection of the inning off of Hudson. He gets another RBI, and Devin Williams, man, he strikes out Mookie Betts and Ohtani to end the game. He had 2 saves in 24 hours. Milwaukee is 1 game from being MLB's 5th team to 70 Ws. So this was one of those recaps where we only had a handful of games to cover. So before we do the guess the pitcher, because I feel like you guys should know who this is, we're going to do a quick update on the stat leaders and the standings. Bobby Witt Jr. is still leading the world with a .349 batting average, but we know baseball's hard. Stephen Kwan used to be hitting like .380, .390. He's down to .325. But check out Judge and Soto. That duo was so sick. And Vladdy is hitting .323. Yo, Tarek is leading baseball, not just the AL. He's leading baseball in Ws and ERA with a 2.53 ERA. What about strikeouts? I want to see that right now. So he's 2nd in baseball. He could be a guy that has the full MLB Triple Crown. He's 2nd right behind Dylan Cease. All right, let me go back to RBIs. Aaron Judge has 110, followed by J-Ram, Ozuna, Bobby Witt Jr., and Josh Naylor. So 2 Guardians in the top 5 for RBIs. Saves, you have Emmanuel Clase and Helsley. Clase actually caught up to Ryan Helsley because Helsley has been a little bit shaky as of late. Bobby, he's number 1 in base hits. That is obvious. We already talked about the strikeouts. Stolen bases, we know that Ellie is leading everyone by 23. Bryce Terang now has 36. He just passed Shohei in that last game. And then quality starts, Corbin and Logan Gilbert both have 19. Again, a quality start is 6 innings with 3 earned runs or fewer. I don't know what I said in the intro. I don't know what I was looking at, but apparently the Orioles and the Yankees are still tied for first place. I don't know how that worked because I definitely saw a half game back when I first made my script. You have the Red Sox at 8 games back, so they're going to have to be a wild card team. The Guardians, they're 4 games up after winning 5 in a row. The Twins and the Royals, and as well as the Tigers, they're on a little winning streak as well. The Astros have a 3-game lead over the Mariners after the Mariners just got swept by the Tigers. The Phillies, they're going to win the AL East, but the Braves, I mean, they're trying to win a wild card spot. Same with the Mets. We'll talk about the wild card in a second. The Central is done. The Brewers are going to win that. And then the NL West, like we talked about. The Dodgers, they've lost 2 in a row. The Diamondbacks and the Padres have combined for 9 wins in a row. So they're both just 2 games back. Maybe I saw the wild card at first. So the Yankees, they're in a wild card spot right now because technically, even though they're tied, they have a losing record against the Orioles. So if it stays that way, they'll be a wild card team. The Twins, they're up by 2 games for the 2nd spot. And the Royals, they have a 2.5 game lead over Boston for that final wild card spot with the Mariners, the Rays, the Tigers, the Blue Jays, the Rangers. I guess they're all, I mean, there's like 40-ish games left. Maybe they're still in it. I have no idea. What do you guys think? The National League, we know that the Diamondbacks and the Padres have the exact same record. The Braves are the 3rd spot right now with the Mets, the Giants, the Reds, the Cardinals, and the Cubs all within 5.5 games. and you got the Pirates at 7.5 games back because they just lost 10 in a row. All right, let's get this. Guess the pitcher before we do guess the batter. This is 1,000 and a billion% Clayton Kershaw. If you do not know that, I would highly suggest that you hit that subscribe button because I think you need to watch ball just a little bit more often. Who is this batter? Oh, that's easy. Wait, is that Ahmed Rosario? I think it looks like Ahmed Rosario, but it also doesn't look like Ahmed Rosario at the same time because Ahmed has a slightly more aggressive leg kick. Is that Joey Ortiz? Is that Connor? No, is that Rob? I think that's Rob Refsnyder. If it is, I'll be so impressed. Oh, wait. So he's on the Red Sox and the AL East. Is that Danny? Wait, who is this? That has to be Connor Wong. If it's not Rob Refsnyder, then Connor Wong? Oh, it is Connor Wong. You know what? I'm not going to lie. That's pretty impressive. I got the Red Sox right, and then Connor Wong was my second pick. I feel like that's impressive. Well, everyone, that does it for today's recap. If you enjoyed, do me a big fat favor. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you're brand new. Send it to a few friends who you think might enjoy this series. And enjoy the web gems.
Little floater here off the bat of Rutschman. And a diving play by Refsnyder coming out of nowhere. And the curveball popped up. Torrens hoping for room back toward the screen. And he got it. Nice play by Smith.
And now Hernandez on his way to second. The throw is in time to get there quickly, and a good throw